Well, finally, we get to put in some warmer colors. A little bit of warmth against the cold. It just feels strange to me to be doing this, considering my warmest colors are usually in an area like this, but the values here are higher. So anyway, no worries. Um, but I kind of like this. I've been wanting to, well, I've been looking forward to playing in this closer up area. It's more forgiving. You're playing with larger objects. They're easier to manage. Let's carry this on, but tone it down as we go off left. So right now I'm working with yellow ochre, ultramarine blue, and excuse me, and burnt sienna. As I get away from the center of the painting, we're just going to cool those colors off. I think my value's a little bit high on that. Let's go a little greener, a little darker. Actually, that's a good color for in behind here. I shouldn't worry too much about that transition. Now this bit here, the blob that ate New York, we're not going to worry about that right now. There's a good chance I go into some mauves in there. Mauves, purples, whatever you want to call it. Okay. I want some intensity here because this tree trunk is going to be quite intense. It's going to have some pretty strong burnt sienna and white on it. So I'll carry that onto the land and curve it off to the right to help form a cradle for the kind of the important part, I guess you would say. It's all important. I don't mean to diminish the importance of it. It's just that some areas are more important than others. Okay. Let's not worry about that for the moment. I think this will have to be blended in as well. But I'm not going to worry about it. This is not an alla prima painting. Let's go back down here. I'd like to broaden this intensity or the values. Not too far over, but a little bit more here and here. Make it more of a mass. And then I'd like to come down with the light, with the higher values, spilling onto the grass that's in front of this log and bringing it down a little bit, because this line helps to support this log. There's no harm, I think, in allowing some light to come down here as well. But what I'm going to do, I've got too much ultramarine blue in this mix right now. So how about if I clean it off the palette, go back into our yellow ochre, and a hint of burnt sienna, and just a hint of ultramarine blue, and more yellow ochre. How are we sitting like this? That's not too bad. A little too much burnt sienna in that mix. I like that. I like that. I think I might be a little too red here. And maybe I shouldn't worry about it. Actually, I'm going to worry about it. It's just what I do. Yeah, I'm still worried about it. I'm still a little concerned with that. Let's stick with our yellows. I think I'm going too wet and wet here, but this is really bothering me. I mean, I like the area, I like the shape, it's okay, but okay, I'm going to finish that up later. But I did want to bring this down like so. Because I'm hopping the log here, and I'm going to go to the other side shortly. Okay, let's do that. Let's hop that log right now. I don't want too many lines cutting into the grass. Just the odd one. We have a little clump of grass in front here though, so I think there's no harm in maybe laying something in. Yeah, doesn't look very grassy, does it? Well, thankfully, I don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna throw a touch of raw umber in there. Okay. Enough tentative, weak, indecisive gestures here. Alright, get a little farther away from our highlighting. Our highlighting, our brighter strokes. Let's that's a bit light. it's under this pokey outy bit. So we can afford to have it darker. A little bit. Yeah, we'll do that. Boy, I'm not happy with my little spot here. Okay. All right. I think that's going to work. You know, I'll leave something like that open if I'm not sure as to whether it'll benefit the painting or not. I'll just leave it open for the moment, see how it goes. Yeah, this is curving down. I don't want to paint in here more. What I want to do is what I did in the last video. I want to mix up some strong, opaque, ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, and revisit the lines on this plant. I'm going to outline them, make them stronger. I may even add a leaf or two. That was a decision that I knew I would have to make still. And we're pretty much arriving at that point where, yeah, I better make my mind up about it, you know? Maybe it needs more strength. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe because, in general, all of this area is going to be fairly dark, you know, fairly dark grass. We're going to go to the greens, to the cooler colors again. It might be just fine. But it's a decision I'll have to make. So, I don't mind this, you know. Ignore the log, ignore this spot. It's coming down, spreading. It has body to it. It has a good curve to it. I can groom it by laying in a few highlights here and there where I want them. I think we're good. I like our log. I already reinforced the dark lines on the log, as you can see. We'll see how that's going to go. This is a little too dark. It just kind of bugs me. It just kind of does. So we have the magic, whoops, I screwed up paper. And I'm going to use a bit of that right now. There we go. And I don't know that we need a lot of detail here. Maybe subtle changes, but not a complete shape on its own. So, let's... I'm not against going darker, I'm just against a strong, quick contrast between the two areas. What happens if I do that? It's okay, but okay isn't quite good. Alright, a little more yellow ochre in there. A little more white in there. I don't want it to go too light. I don't mind if it's equal to this or this, but I don't want to go too intense. I don't want to go too intense because, you know, we have some warm colors in now. We're really going to get warm when we lay some light catching this burnt sienna log. I'm quite looking forward to that. And I'm not going to do it now because wet and wet does not provide as strong a stroke congruent with the style of the rest of the painting. So we're not going to do that at the moment. But I think this shape of this branch sticking up and the log itself as well is important enough that I want it to stand out fairly well. this little hook here seems a little bit odd. But somehow I like it. And for now I'm leaving it. Okay? It's texture. It's not design we're worried too much about there, it's just texture. Okay. Let me drop this. Let me drop this a little bit so that I can reach it properly. That's a very sharp differentiation between the lighter yellow ochre and what's just above it. So let's temper that a little bit. Temper, temper, temper. Something that I sadly do have. I cannot tell you how many times I start yelling at my window telling the traffic to shut up, or how many times I grow frustrated with how my painting itself is going. I have nobody to blame. I can only yell at myself. But the thing that makes me the most angry is my own screwing up. I don't have a lot of patience for that. Because when it comes to painting, I should know better by now. But I don't always. I know painting's supposed to be a relaxing sport, but it's like anything. If you care deeply enough about it and you screw it up, you get pretty disappointed in yourself. Okay, I think that's okay for now. Not going to go into the log tonight. Another short video. But I thought I'd just take you along with me for this little bit of grass. Let's, again, square off briefly so that you can see maybe fairly clearly the effect that those warm colors suddenly have on the painting. Yeah, they look too warm. They look too intense. Don't worry. Don't worry at all. It's going to get much more intense when I introduce these warm values, these warm hues and higher values, okay, different hues, higher values going up onto this trunk, especially this one. This one a little bit, but when it shoots back up here, it's not going to look like an awkward clump. It will definitely be part of the painting. Wow, I'm not too shaky tonight. What a treat. Okay. One of these days, I'll actually have a painting in my hands. Have a great weekend, guys. See you soon.